My name is Matthew Sturgeon. I am making a documentary about texting and driving. I'm going to tell you these stories through the family members that have lost loved ones due to texting and driving. Now is the time to hear these stories. Together we can help prevent texting and driving. This is more than a documentary. This is their last text message. By taking in this information, we can learn. No text is worth losing a life over. It can wait. We need to learn from these silent messages. The reason why they teach history is so we don't repeat it. I am making this documentary because I lost my sister because of texting and driving, and I will be her last voice. This documentary will open your eyes in many ways. I have done a lot of interviews and I have contacted a lot of people, and it all barrels down to the question of what is the best solution to prevent texting and driving, and we all come up with the same conclusion, that it is to educate our teen drivers. I know this is a touchy subject, but it needs to be discussed. Now is the time for us as well as them. I have been working on this documentary for 2 years. Finished. With this documentary completed, the family members that I've interviewed, their loved ones will live on forever, as well as anyone who has lost anybody due to texting and driving. With your pledges, this DVD will be completed by the end of this year. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Anything you can pledge will be gratefully appreciated.
My daughter was killed by a young man that was texting and driving. That was October 13th, 2008. She was on her way to YSU. The boy was coming home from work. He was up all night. So we found out later he was texting. His girlfriend kept texting him. He went left to center. We don't know for sure if he dropped his phone. The police said that
dropped his phone.
That's what they're guessing. He was texting and dropped the phone.
Because there was no person behind the vehicle, or behind the steering wheel. You couldn't see nobody.
Jamie said there was no one behind the wheel when they hit her head, when he hit her head on. And my daughter was killed that day. He was killed. Another vehicle, which was coming down the road, could not avoid the accident.
He had no choice but to hit somebody.
He had no choice. He was in a turn because the boy, when he went left to center, he was in a turn, real bad, sharp turn. And the third vehicle hit him, and he was flighted out of there too. But my daughter was killed. The boy that hit her was killed.
She was alive though before they pulled her out of the car. Before it did explode, there was two volunteers that did stop and pull her out. She was talking, and they knew she had serious internal injury, so they decided to put her out for a helicopter, and she never came to. And that's when they just took her to Salem. And I got the phone call that Life Flight was coming for her. She was in an accident. So I called him. We got up to the hospital. By then it was too late.
Yeah, when we arrived at the hospital, we
couldn't even touch her.
We asked if we could hug our daughter, and they will not let you touch the body when somebody's killed.
They made it because it was a double fatality. They had to do autopsies on both of them to make sure there was no
drugs or
alcohol.
So this was due to texting and driving?
Yes.
This was due to texting and driving.
Our family has been split because of this. She had 2 children, and one was sent to a totally different state, which we no longer see, talk to, anything. And the boy went elsewhere. I mean, this kid destroyed a lot of lives. I mean, the brother and sister don't even see each other anymore.
Jamie was going to be married. She found a great guy that really...
Actually, that was our doing.
Compliment her. We set them up. And I guess it was kind of a favor because Jamie introduced me to Lisa, and Lisa was Jamie's best friend. And we got married. It was kind of ironic that Lisa became stepmom and best friend, but didn't ask for a better daughter. She fought so hard. She went to school. She was working, being a mother, and
she owned her own place. I mean, she
was involved in church activities where she would help people for food and things. Jamie just went out of her way to be super good, and it had to be a great expense because his girlfriend was texting him That's what we found out at the hospital.
We also found out that they told him to go home from work at midnight and he refused.
Yeah.
So this all could have been avoided. They tried to send him home from work because he was falling asleep on the job. He shouldn't have even been there. And that's a big loss. And we're still paying for it to this day.
Anyone that ever met Jamie misses her still. You can't help but love that woman. She's a mother, a daughter, a friend.
Now, I wasn't a
friend,
morning person, but she got me up, boy, in a bubbly voice every morning. Or she'd call you and sing to you every morning.
I just don't know what else to say except for, please, don't text and drive. It's not worth it. You can destroy
Lives, countless lives, because there's a
families,
total.
friends,
We
strangers.
have a total of 11 kids, so you figure there's 10 other kids without a sister. There's all the nieces, nephews, and all that stuff that never get to meet her, that have been born since, and it's just a big part of our life taken.
And my daughter always said, I'll never forget it. Dad only had a few friends. The day of that funeral, when it was packed, 300-400 deep up the streets, and there was thousands of people that came to see my daughter goodbye, pay their respects.
The funeral home, they couldn't believe.
They said it was the biggest one they ever had. They've never seen that many people come to a funeral. And I don't care how good a person is, I can't express my anger and upset with the boy for texting and his girlfriend for texting him while he's driving. Our kids know if they get behind the wheel of a vehicle and we find out they're texting and driving, they
I'll
lose.
beat the hell out of them.
They lose their driver's license. They are done. They are not going to get into the car. I pray to God it never happens to what happened to all our family, all our friends, all her family and friends. The agony that
You still
this
go
few
through.
seconds that boy did by dropping the phone or texting on the phone, you can't take it back. When somebody's gone, they're gone. And the pain's still there. Every birthday, every holiday, to this day. I grow green beans in that garden out back
Just
for
for
my
her.
daughter, and I'm still
And they go to
growing
waste, but they're planted just for her.
every year.
Every year.
We can't help it. I mean, we can't express what you will lose if you text and drive. And the people that you hurt, even if you're not killed in the accident, the people that you have hurt and destroyed by your mistakes. And I really don't want to go too much further because if I do, I'm going to get really upset and involved. Because the thought of what happened, I didn't think I could relive it, but I am. Going into that hospital and seeing my daughter laying on that bed and not allowed to hug her goodbye or tell her goodbye and never have that option to do that. And then to have people come up, paramedics tell me, well, she was alive at the scene, but we put her out, she didn't make it.
When we were told differently.
You know, it was so many things. It's just, you'll hear so many stories afterwards. Like I said, it just ain't, it's not worth it, please. If you're texting and driving, stop. That's it. I